It's not easy to understand why stocks go up and down, but even in volatile markets, there's always a discoverable and logical reason behind price action. Story trading is a social investing community of investors who share information to uncover the hidden stories behind the trade through the 4 pillars of fundamentals, catalyst, sentiment, and technicals. All price action can be understood through the lens of these pillars, allowing for a holistic view that empowers better decision-making. Only by understanding markets can you beat them. Join our community today and start making sense of markets.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, October 30th. We're doing a free preview today, and we'll see. We'll probably try to do it all week. This is our VIP pre-market prep. So what do we do here at Story Trading? First, I just want to review a little bit about the concept of there's a story behind every trade, right? I like to say we believe markets are efficient, right? A lot of people take exception to that. They say, well, markets are crazy. They don't make sense. All right. We say markets make sense if you look at it through the perspective of 4 pillars. If you only look at it through fundamentals, won't make sense. If you look at it through fundamentals, sentiment, catalysts, and technicals, markets can make sense. So today's price is the correct price. Markets are efficient. It's a deep market. A lot of players out there. Information spreads very quickly, right? So when there's a delta information, you get a delta in price very quickly. So our philosophy, our approach to the market is actually good for predicting rapid re-ratings in stocks. So what we do here, we monitor several hundred stocks that we're familiar with the fundamentals, familiar with the stories. We look at the catalyst pre-market, and then we take that catalyst, we interpret it, we read it, and we say, what impact will this catalyst have on fundamentals? What will it have? What impact will it have on sentiment? What impact will it have on technicals? We put it all together, and we come up with, it's all about what's the net aggregate opinion of the other market participants today, right? Where is that rapid re-rating going to happen? What's going to happen with that rapid re-rating today? Because markets are efficient. So we found that this is the thing we're really, really good at. And it's ended up, our stats are showing that some 85% of our number one picks for the day, we're going to get to them in just a second, 85% yield a profit for that day. If it's a short, right, it'll close lower than it opened for the day. If it's a long, it will close higher than it opened for the day. And we're also finding for the ones that are correct, for those 85% that are correct, 50% of them, if you select a relevant option for the day, those options can move 100% or more. So that's our track record that we've been collecting data on. We're really good at what we do. So this morning, all right, we're looking at the news feed. We're seeing what's going on. I know there's, let me just go macro stuff real quick. We have Wednesday, we have the Fed and their decision on interest rates coming. Okay. We have the war obviously going on. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. We have the charts that I'm not going to dig so deep into. Let me just quickly, we'll look at that very quickly because I got to dig into all these catalysts for this morning. But I've been basically looking for, at a minimum, to see the major indices move to their 200-day moving averages. So 340 is where I'm looking for QQQ. And where's SPY at? Let's see, where's SPY at? Oh, SPY already broke it. So yeah, 340 on QQQ. SPY broke it. Q is likely going to at least test it. All right, so that's like the big picture. We'll get into the war because I'm sure some of them will be in our top 5, especially gold. But first, let's just look at some catalysts that came through this morning. Earnings catalyst first. So we had SOFI, McDonald's, onsemi. By the way, onsemi, I didn't look into in detail, but they reduced their guidance on their EPS by 11%. Stock's only down 7%, right? Could see further downside. You could see a sympathy move in air. Air could be down today. It already is. You've been seeing a seller there. So if you're looking for shorts, onsemi and air may be good just on this reduction in EPS on onsemi. COM came out, COMM, and they warned earnings lower. That's bad for COM itself and also Clearfield. All right. But I'm going to focus in on what had good earnings, I think, SOFI and McDonald's. So I picked those to be in the top 5. So then we're going to switch to our morning show list. So what we do here live together in the show, we go through these ideas. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I don't know for sure what the number one pick of the day is. I'm not even sure if any of these stocks you see in the top 5 will be in the top 5. This is an exercise we're going to do together. And by the end of the show, we're going to have our top 5 picks. We're going to have our number 1 pick. And man, onsemi or air, they might be shorts. Clearfield, they might make it into the top 5. We'll see. But let's start the show. SOFI. So SOFI in our VIP program, you can see it right here in our app. This morning, I put in here, SOFI, $8 possible target today. Well, why did I say that? Let's go through this. SOFI, you can see the SOFI earnings here. So we're looking at the earnings that they beat, that they not beat, but most importantly, we're looking at guidance, okay? And most importantly, guidance on EPS versus expectations. That's the most important metric to look at. So SOFI, you see EBITDA guide raised by 16%, beat estimate by 14%. All right, beat estimate by 14%. So if you look at SOFI and do, what's 14% of Friday's close, right? Because we go by the premise that the most recent close was the correct close, was the market efficient price. So if the market efficient price was 687, all right, on Friday, so we take 687, multiply it by 14%, you get about 783. So then we say it's not just fundamentals. We said there's also technicals. And we go in and we triangulate, say, well, what other technicals are around that level? Well, we have the 50 DMA. I'm a big believer in moving averages, the 20, 50, 200 moving averages. I use that a lot in my technicals. So over here, I'm about 783. And when I did the math earlier, I got, because let me just go back to this, because we have beat estimates by 14%. I usually go by the raise. When I did this math earlier, I went by 16%, not the 13.5%. But in any case, when I did 16%, I got a little over $8. Right now, when I did the 13% with you, I got 72. So this morning, when I was looking at that, I said, you know what? Look at that. Golly gee, the 50 DMA is right there at 805. So that could be a magnet. That could be a magnet today. $8 could be your target. And that's also a psychological level. But you got to get past this 20 DMA. So these are the two kind of targets or resistance levels would be 775 and 805. And that's obviously, oh, Ben, what are you saying? Like 20 DMA, 50 DMA, that's no biggie. But, you know, we're also looking at those fundamentals. So we're saying we have an upward bias today that the stock can reach these upper lines here, these upper resistance lines today. All right. When we saw this, the stock was like in the 720s and it's already doing well. Right. So already looks like our thesis is being validated. So 760 so far this morning. With further upside possible to those 20 and 50 DMAs. Now, McDonald's, very interesting. Now, the problem is McDonald's conference call is ongoing right now, okay? So it's hard for me to have great conviction in this, but they beat by 6%. The stock's up 2%. There was no guidance in the press release, which means the conference call, though, SOFI, they gave the guidance in the press release. McDonald's didn't. You got to be on the conference call right now to find out what's going on. So I'm going to have to catch up on this later because it all comes down to the guidance. But the qualitative commentary on the press release was good. It didn't indicate any kind of warnings going forward. So if we can say, all right, maybe that 6%, you know, at least it's not going to be terrible news on the conference call if you want to say that. So let's just see what that would look like. All right, let's see. We closed at 255.76. So let's see, 255.76, and they beat by 6%. Before the guidance, so 271. 271. All right. Well, that's close to the 50 DMA. So maybe that's your target on McDonald's today. And look at this candle right here, 267.37. So 267, let's just call it 267, could be your upside target on McDonald's today, but it really depends what's being said on the conference call right now. So after this show is over, I'll have to go catch up. I won't have time to listen to conference calls. The market's going to be opening. What I'm going to do is check social media for people who are giving commentary from the conference call to see if we can learn anything from that. Now, what's really important here, why did McDonald's, right? When there's a story behind the trade, there's also a story behind the chart. And if you want to know what's going to happen in the future, you have to understand what happened in the past. So look at McDonald's. What was this big crash about, right? This big crash also happened in Pepsi, also happened in Celsius. It happened to all junk food stocks. Why? Because the CEO of Walmart came out in an interview and said, we're seeing a slight reduction in calorie intake due to Ozempic and the related drugs, right? Those diabetes injections. People have, it's repressing appetite. So this was new information people weren't necessarily aware of. They're saying, okay, appetite's down, calories down, bad for junk food, bad for all these stocks. So what did we just calculate? 267 on McDonald's. So what another like kind of sleeper ancillary play I like to think about on this, it really depends. So I'm going to go look on social media later. Do we see comments? And McDonald's says, no, we don't really see a reduction in calories, right? Then boom, I think you have a good chance of making it towards 267, especially since we dropped like $40 because of this story. Okay, so that's something to look at. But what's a sleeper play maybe is Celsius. Look, I've loved Celsius for a long time. It's been one of my consistent positions in my retirement account for a long time. So Celsius could see a move also if that conference call is good, if there's commentary in there. So keep Celsius on watch, but check that social media, and I'll try to comment on this also in our app for VIP members. What I find if they comment on this calorie intake situation, then both McDonald's and Celsius could be really good plays, along with Pepsi and all the other junk food stocks. All right. Other thing we're looking at, man. Oh, this war. We've been on top of this war like crazy, really doing well on it and predicting what kind of stocks will do well. Gold has been on a tear since October 7th. All right. And every Fridays are a great day to play gold because of fear of what happens in the weekend. The weekend, there's more days, more risk of things that can happen over a weekend, more geopolitical risk. So people get really worried. Well, is it the end of the world coming this weekend? So we saw gold break out towards the end of Friday as the ground war started in Israel. But more importantly, or I don't want to say more importantly, but just as important, gold went over $2,000. Is it over 2,000 now? Let me see. Actually, let me see if can I look up futures gold prices on here? Let me see. I've never actually tried that. Well, maybe I have to do it like this. Gold. Let's see. If not, I got to go to the CNBC app to do this. But let's see. GOLD. No, okay. So let's go to CNBC. Where's my CNBC app? All right. So gold went over $2,000 for the first time in like a long time. I don't know, years or something. And it's still holding above 2000. That's great. So now that's a big psychological level. If we hold 2000, not only that, but there's like a massive cup and handle forming. I only have 5 years of data here. It's maybe more clear on some longer term charts, but I'm still really bullish on gold. I actually added on Friday. I'm probably up to like 30% now. So I've been liquidating stocks and buying gold in my personal account since the war started. So gold is always on watch, always a top 5 pick. Now that it's over that key level, 185 on GLD, 2000 on the actual gold price, you can see further explosive moves on this stock. What's the 52-week high on GLD? 190, 136. So yeah, I think it makes sense that we would see a move to that level sometime in a swing period. Don't know that it'll happen today, but something to watch. Okay, PAL, gun stocks. Oh my gosh, these things are going to freaking explode. I mean, we call PAL at $1.97. The first day of the war, October 9th, we're in here. We're the first to buy at $1.97, and we've had some sort of position in it since then. I also added this to my retirement account. I'm just waiting for this thing to break above 3 and explode. Ammunition gun sales, I believe, this is my opinion, are through the roof. We're going to get a first indication of that in a couple days when RGR reports on Wednesday. So RGR, now keep in mind, this is a gun company. They're the first of the 3 gun companies I'm aware of they're going to report. RGR, this quarter ended September 30th. The Israel war, which I think is precipitating a lot of the gun demand, started October 7th. So you're not going to see it in the trailing numbers. What you have to look at is the guidance and any qualitative comments that the company has maybe on the conference call could be the next catalyst that sparks a big move in PAL. But PAL's already broken resistance. It's been a while. We broke this candle over here, right? And we're right in this gap. So I've been waiting for this gap to fill to 3 any day. And it's been a little frustrating because I expected a big, much faster move up towards 3. So this is on our watch list every single day. POWW, looking for a move to 3. I think it can happen any day. It could even happen today. Now, no particular catalyst yet today, but you could see that event anticipation into the RGR earnings be one of the reasons why you could see kind of a surprise move in POWW and make a move towards 3, even without a company-specific catalyst. So that's on high watch as well. A few other things we're looking at. Intel had great earnings the other day. And I don't think it's moved enough. We did the math on this Friday in terms of the EPS. I could have a further move, but our specialty is really what happens today, right? So maybe that's not going to be a top 5 today. Chewy here. This is interesting because Chewy closed over the 20 DMA Friday, I think, for the first time in a very, very, very long time. Okay, and this was on our show last week because a couple days before that, an analyst came out and said, we are upgrading Chewy from sell to neutral. There it is, UBS. Upgrades from sell to neutral. So Chewy, you have that catalyst. You have a break of the 20 DMA for the first time. Maybe now this can make a swing move, especially because we closed Friday. This could surprise today. This could do well today as it makes its move towards the 50 DMA of $20. You got some candle resistance though to deal with around 19. Okay, so maybe 19 and then 20 would be the targets for Chewy. All right. So with that, I think I've covered enough. It's 9:15. What we're going to do here right at the end of the show is now, after we just went through everything, we're going to try to order these in order of priority 1 through 5. All right. And so let's try to do this right now. I like the pre-market action in POW, by the way. All right, I did pick some up at 272 this morning, in addition to my retirement account shares. So I like that pre-market action. That's definitely going to be in top 5. I like this Chewy over the 20 DMA. So let's put Chewy in the top 5, but it'll be the 5th one, okay, because it doesn't have like a fundamental catalyst, today. So we'll put that in the top 5, though. All right, between SOFI and McDonald's. Now, I just wish I had some more information about the ongoing conference call right now. It may be that McDonald's ends up being the best play for today, particularly if you're doing options on high-price stocks. Up here, what's this resistance here? 262.56. If we break 262.56, Then maybe you can start making a move towards 267. For right now, I'm going to make this the number 2 pick. I may change it if I get more information from social media about how the 8:30 conference call is going, what guidance is looking like, what both the quantitative and qualitative comments are on that conference call. I may make a switch and make McDonald's the number 1 pick. But to start off, I think I'm going to stick with SoFi because of the re-rating calculation we did. And let me just show you, though. Look at this. Last time they beat, look at this candle. It opened, wow, look at this gap open from 9:55. It opened at 10:39 and closed near the high 11:45. Maybe we can see another day like that, but you can see here why we stopped swinging and moved to day trading, right? It's been 2 or 3 quarters in a row SoFi have beat, but I guess people are worried about the economy and high interest rates, and eventually that'll get to SoFi. But for now, it's like 3 or 4 quarters in a row they're beating, and the first initial reaction always seems to be nice after another earnings beat and another guidance increase. Your long-term investment, I wouldn't count on it. All right. So this is just for the day. I'm going to make this first again because of both the pre-market action and what we saw last time they beat. All right. So we're going to make that target here. It's only a little bit here to the 20 DMA. So your 2 targets are the 20 DMA at 775 and then around 8. Let's call it 8. 775 and 8. Okay, will be your target. So number 2 pick, McDonald's. Actually, you know what? I got to make POW. I love this pre-market action on POW. We already broke technicals. Hold on. Let's think about this. I'm so tempted to, I'm waiting for POW to break the 3. I got to make it number 2. All right. POW, McDonald's, Gold, and Chewy. I think we're going to leave it at that. This is going to be our top 5 today. As we're looking at nice pre-market open, it looks like nice open, heading for a nice open. But I gotta say, POW is just looking excellent. Okay, so even though SoFi is number 1, listen, POW, I have a small position in SoFi and a bigger position in POW, but so we'll make SoFi number 1. But POW, McDonald's, Gold, Chewy to round out the top 5, and that's it. We'll be back with an update at 1 p.m. and I will be providing some updates here in the app. We have a free app you can download at storytrading.com/app. All right. And then you can get this show every morning at 9 a.m. And also any kind of key changes throughout the day, I'll put them in the VIP chat room. All right. You can go right now, download that at storytrading.com/app. Man, POW is getting me excited today. All right. Good luck, everyone. We'll see you at 1 p.m. for an update. And the rest of the week, we'll see how this is received and what our viewership is like on various platforms. If it went well today, we'll do the free preview for the whole week. All right. Thanks, everyone. Take care. I'll see you later.